to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. It's me again. This video is beef food inflation. I see evidence of higher prices. I'll tell you where I saw that evidence. Let's see if I screwed up my. I think it's okay. And beef food inflation with markdown shopping and stockpiling. Okay, so let me start in on the food. This is 3 tablespoons of white rice, and here it is. So I want to add a little bit of evaporated milk. It could be coconut milk, but I have the evaporated milk open. So I just want to heat this. Sometimes I just eat the rice with milk and sugar. Okay, and then I'll just put a little sugar. Oh no, this is the one that wouldn't open. A little sugar on there because it tastes good when it's sweet, especially with the evaporated milk. So that's going to be the rice in 1 minute. And you know, the evaporated milk causes a little good dairy. And then I save my mangoes out of some kind of fruit mix I bought. And then I made some delicious tea. I couldn't wait to drink it. It was, at some time I bought a lot of tea. Wild black currant black tea. So that's the tea. All right, what did I do with the lighter? Every night. Let's hope the candle wants to burn tonight. I keep scooping out the wax, hoping to get a longer wick. Okay, so then I want to make Fisherman's coleslaw because I want to make more veggies. I want to start eating more veggies. And you know, I've been going to the gym, and if some of you are like me and you're older, the gym works good if you just, or any exercise. If you don't, this was a nice little cabbage. I bought it Smart and Final. I think it was about $1.50 for the whole thing. For me, the little ones are better because if it's a big one, you know, you have so much cabbage forever. And then I'm just going to take the outer leaves off in case there's any pesticide. And if there's a little bit left over, that is fine. So this is kind of like a good salad because you have cabbage, you have carrots, and you have tomatoes. But it could be any 3 vegetables, you know, that you have. So the carrots and the cabbage are root foods. So as usual, this is going to make a lot. So I'm just going to cut them in some little bite-sized pieces. Okay, so we have the cabbage. And then I got these carrots at the pantry, food pantry. I still have quite a bit of produce left from the food pantry. So, like these carrots, but tomorrow the rest of the carrots are going to the rabbits. These are really good carrots. The rabbits, you know, earn their keep. They generate rabbit BM for the trees, and I'll be getting some for my garden too. My soil, I don't think my soil, okay, this looks good. I'm going to turn that off. I'm thinking maybe the problem I had this year, although I'm not sure that's it, oops, is maybe my soil wasn't too hot because we had the hurricane and it seemed like there was a lot of clay, and I got the dirt from the same place. There was a lot of sand, probably from the sandbags. And then, you know, I've had pests, but that's not stopping me. So I have gotten quite a few really good recipes from YouTube, like those biscuits I made last night. You should try those. Those are the best biscuits I ever made. I didn't get those off of YouTube. I got those off of one of my new cookbooks. And I was investigating. Notice my flower arrangements have really improved. I copied the flower arrangements. Okay, now tomato. I copied the flower arrangements out of the cookbooks. And so I bought some assortments of brighter flowers, and that made all the difference in my arrangements. When I first had them, they were just, you know, any art, if you persist in. Okay, so now tomatoes. So here's what I have so far: cabbage, tomatoes, and I need a bigger bowl. Cabbage, tomatoes, and carrots. It always makes a lot, but this stuff is tasty left over, so. Okay. Then all you need is some mayo, not too much, just a little bit. If you have a party or something to go to, this would be a great thing to take. A little ketchup. You know, when you make your stir fry, I always used to make it, you know, I would have my vegetables, my rice, my meat, my eggs with salt, pepper, and sugar, but you can add salt, pepper, and ketchup. And so in this, if you don't have any ketchup, you can use sugar. Or if you just want to use sugar, it tastes good with sugar. And then I stockpiled up, I make pickles. Of course, I can't get this thing open. Okay. There we go. Everything is going up. $3, $5, $6. So that is why the last thing I wanted to do was shop around, and I thought just shop around and get a few things now before the inflation. What they're saying is, they're saying that when the consumption is down, the price goes up. So figure, why is it when you go to McDonald's, the price is up? Although today, I bought a chicken sandwich. It was good too. And I asked for extra lettuce and tomato. I told them I don't care if I have to pay a little bit extra, that's fine. And I got some salt, pepper, a fork, a knife, and so it would have been $5.15, but since I had my app, it was $2.12, so I just paid for the soda. And I think McDonald's has the best soda. So where's my salt? So I like to put a little bit of salt and pepper. Good pepper makes all the difference. I stockpile the good stuff. This is coarse black pepper. I don't know, I bought a big bag. You can see it's, but you know, if there was some kind of food shortage of some sort, that would go down faster than you know. When you're constantly buying, here is the rice I bought at Walmart. It's short grain rice for $5 a bag. And I'm thinking about buying another bag too. Okay, so I have these plates, and all my plates got ruined. So I was able to find these little plates, and I thought just go with black and white for now. Okay, so I mentioned to you guys that this worked out great. It was kind of like a frozen meal. I bought 2 salmon patties at Ralph's for $5, so this portion is $2.50. I just wrapped it. I put some oil on the bottom. Yummy. Some oil on the top. And I just baked it at 350. So any kind of rice, any kind of, this could be tuna fish. This could be canned salmon. It could be any kind of frozen fish. But this sweet rice tastes very delicious with fish. So you have your meat, you have your carb. I'm trying to cut carbs, cut sugar, and cut cheese. Not entirely, and you know, when you first start cutting it, and then I'm trying to eat bigger veggie portions. And I'm trying to watch the cost. So here it is. I'm trying to make cost-effective meals. So 3 vegetables, my fish, because you need some fish and some nuts, and then some sweet rice. Okay, so here's my tea. That's a cheap, cost-effective. Okay, so here is the coleslaw, and here is the, I make potato salad basically the same way, and you can pretty much make macaroni salad the same way. If you have cheese and you add that to your macaroni salad, that is tasty. So thanks to Feature Man. He had a little controversy on his channel, but all's well now. Some haters dragged it up, but they probably got him a gazillion views, so I guess, you know, I figured at the time. These are good. Let me get some, I keep this stuff around and I stockpile. So you have a little citrus as well. Okay, so now to talk about what I bought today when I didn't feel like. Grocery shopping's not fun. Grocery shopping is really not fun. Okay, the first place I went was to Dollar Tree, and I bought 3 these are good, 3 boxes of crackers. I said I usually buy 6 a week, but I meant 6 a month. So today I had tomato soup with evaporated milk and crackers with my homemade peanut butter. That was good. And then I bought 5 shelf-stable milks because they say when finances are tough, people usually have to cut back on milk and meat. And then I noticed they had small bottles, but this is 91% alcohol. So I wanted to get one for my son and one for myself. And then I bought some sleeping pills. If I have the right sleeping pills, I can get by with some pretty cheap sleeping pills. Okay, so now think about, here's what they're telling us we might have shortages. Coffee, tea, potatoes, and rice. Because potatoes and rice are affected when there's too much rain. It's still cold here. I'll show you something weird. Okay, when I brought this thing in, see the size of this, and these are some kind of squash out of my food. And so I dug this thing up because something was eating it. I don't know what it is actually, but let me show you the size of my tomatoes. This is 20 tomato plants. See how they're very stunted and small compared to the squash? But I'm just lucky they survived. And these might be tomatoes that I grew just by throwing cherry tomatoes in the ground. I'm not sure. So the dirt is by far, if you want to do indoor gardening, if you can find dirt somewhere. This is the problem with like these planned cities or living in big cities. Where are you supposed to get dirt? You have to buy it. And then fertilizer. So I have the rabbits, so those help. So coffee, tea, potatoes, and rice. There, and also most likely wheat, because a lot of the worldwide wheat is grown in the Ukraine. And so we're waiting to see what's happening in the Ukraine. We have to wait and see. Those are good because that is a good solid quarter pound of meat. Then bananas and watermelon. They've said that some of the watermelon is actually being injected with color to make it redder. So bananas, I'm looking for dehydrated bananas, since they're, you know, kind of telling us. And I can find pretty big bags for $5.99 at grocery outlets, so I better get a couple of those. And then canned tomatoes. So I am determined to learn to grow squash, tomatoes, onions, and bell peppers. Any kind, bell peppers. My peppers, I have a few peppers. Okay, so no, let's see. So when I went to Dollar Tree, it was pretty empty, and what I think is they're moving everything out. Some of them are going out of business, but the higher prices are coming. So I saw intermingled amongst the $1.25 was $3.75 food. They already have the $3 and the $5, but now they're putting other food that's not cheap at all in. And like, there was no toilet paper, there was like one roll for $1.25. So that kind of stuff. The cleaning, I needed SOS pads, you know, stuff I normally get there wasn't there. So I did get the shelf stable milk. I was going to try to buy banana chips, and there was like no bags of oatmeal. They had the little packets, but that's not what I'm looking for. And then I bought some flowers. Okay, and then I went to Ralph's to get the $5 deal on the pizza. And I thought, why don't you just start, and this is good. Why don't you just eat like a crescent or a slice of pizza for your bread, so that you don't, it's satisfying and you're not miserable with the carb. So I'm going to be doing that. I will show you. And then I thought, let me see what I can see. Look at this. These are so these come up marked down. Let's see, what was the regular price? Sometimes I can't tell what the regular price was. But this is a really good deal, and I was thinking I might make a meatloaf. And then I got these 4 sausages for $3.20. So this is enough food for a week at about $8. So that was good. Okay, now, then I'm really looking for storable food, so I got 2 cans of tuna for 84 cents each, because they have warned us that they're over fishing and it's going to catch up. And then I bought 1 spaghetti sauce for a little bit over $3. So the squashes are not that cheap, actually. Okay, I actually was okay. I didn't buy anything to do with food at Smart and Final. I went to Smart and Final, I went to Ralph's, and I went to Dollar Tree. So that was pretty miserable actually. But now I have enough food so that I can get by for a while. Because the consumption is down, the price goes up. The price goes up, so people buy less. People buy less, so they manufacture less. The manufacturers and the producers suffer, and so then the price goes up, and the smaller person is going to pay more. That's us. And a recession is coming. A lot of people deny that, but they always say everything's fine, 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 and then it isn't. So the best thing we could do is keep stockpiling. Okay, we're watching for war, famine, or crop failure caused by drought or too much rain, pestilence, infectious disease, and plagues. So we're watching for those. Now, one thing that can cause a food shortage besides war is insects, birds, rodents, hurricanes, hailstorms, and soil issues like what I have. But the main thing I have had is it's still not really nice and warm here like it usually is. And then we're thinking about water. If something happens, so we're thinking about meat, we're thinking about milk, vegetables. So I have been buying the markdown vegetables. I can get by on those. Eggs, meat, grains. Like grains would be like wheat, like oatmeal, like, you know, oils, coffee, and bananas. That's going to cause trouble to us. The main thing that I think we want is canned milk and meat right now. You know, like I bought the 2 cans of tuna fish. I don't want to eat tuna fish. I don't like eating tuna fish that much, but you know, if something happens, I'll make a nice big tuna casserole. I'll show you some of my stuff. Okay, so one of the things that's driving this climate change, which is going to affect us all, but the higher north you live or the lower south you live is going to be affected because this is the 3rd or 4th year of the grand solar minimum, or a mini ice age, which could last for 100 years. If the grid goes down, there's no heat and there's no water, which, if it's down long enough, could cause famine and starvation. Also, if there's a lot of snow and there's a lot of rain, that causes flooding, which causes the crops to be tiny. Okay, now, you know, they want us to live in these planned cities because, think about it, because I was talking to my son about this today. Okay, you have a detached home, which is like a home with a certain amount of land. Those are more expensive, taxes, everything. Then you have attached homes like I live in. This is a townhouse attached to other townhouses, but in California, they have HOAs, which makes things expensive. Then they have the condos, and like, if you remember the old time motels, which were like 2 stories, those aren't too bad as long as they're not into a very crummy area. So anytime you have, like, I've been studying real estate, like a 1-story house is going to be a lot cheaper generally than a 2-story house. So if you live in an apartment or a condo, like privately owned, that's dangerous because of like the guy who wanted his apartment back that I rented for. But if you live in these big high rises, you know, bad things happen to them too. But they are actually, the smaller they are, the cheaper they are. So like as I get older, I might think about something like that. The thing about these apartments is they have shared areas like laundry, like me here, I have like tennis courts, swimming pools, you know, shared amenities. But in apartments, like I've lived in apartments with pools, laundry, you know, kind of cheap and crummy apartments, but they're cheap. So, you know, as people are living, ending up, you know, homeless and stuff, as seniors, there are cheap places. We have to find them. Okay, and then I wanted to mention about potatoes. Start right now to a certain amount sprouting potatoes. Like my indoor stuff's growing splendidly, and I got a greenhouse. Now that's the thing about these apartments. There's no yards. A lot of times there's no balconies, but they're cheap. Like one time when I was young, I lived in the cheapest apartment. You guys didn't know me then, but I mean, you could literally practically live in there for rent only. Another thing about, you know, storing tomatoes is also salsa. And they're saying the thing about canned tomatoes is they could last for years. Oatmeal is a grain. Tuna, salmon, and sardines are cheap. Okay. Also, these wars are not helping anything. And there's probably no, as far as I can see at this time, I don't see any end in sight for these conflicts. At least not this year. So what I'm doing, I was thinking about this today. How about just like resetting your own resources to zero? So you're going to start, you have like maybe a paycheck or money that you get, and just live on that and quit relying on accumulated prosperity for a while, like until the end of the year, and be thinking every day, okay, like today when I was thinking about cheap places to live, think about all the time finding the markdown food. Like I've been going to Ralph's every single day, and they have different $5 deals. And actually, if you think about $5 for 4 meals, that's not too bad. And then if you remember, I was going to the food pantry. Well, what made it so much better was my food storage. Because if you don't have a food storage, say, how are you really going to survive on milk, bread, eggs, cheese, peanut butter, vegetables, and fruit, basically? And maybe a bunch of snacks of some sort. And the one I went to is better than most. So when you have the money, it's a good idea to stock up on only meat and milk. Not, well, they didn't always have milk. And sometimes they would have dog food, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would have oil, sometimes they wouldn't. Also, if you have a pet, it would make a lot of sense to go to the pantry, and at least one week I got 1 can of dog food, which is like a little snack for one of the dogs, but still better than nothing. So be thinking about, okay, what it is the discount shopping places and the markdown food all the time. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.